Right then, I've decided to do a comparison video between Turrican 2 and 3. I was going to do a comparison between all three games on the Amiga 1, 2 and 3, but I couldn't get number 1 to work for various reasons. That's just how it is on the Amiga. I didn't try it on the A2000. I probably should have, but I didn't bother. But yeah, I've not played any of the Turrican games before, not on the Amiga or on any other system really. So this was my first time in playing these games, and yeah, just brilliant games really. As you can see, I think the gameplay is what really stands, and the music is what really stands out in the Turrican games, especially Turrican 2. Now I don't know how much difference there is between Turrican 1 and 2. From the screenshots that I've seen, from what I've seen of the first two games, they look pretty similar, in terms of graphics and whatnot. And I think that that laser that you're seeing is, I think that's in the first game. That to me really stands out in this game. But yeah, the games look pretty similar. Whether Turrican 2 has a more, defined gameplay elements and level design, I don't know. But what I can say about Turrican 2 is it's just a bloody decent game. It's just bloody awesome. I mean, this laser that you're seeing going on is just, it really stands out to me. I've not played a game that kind of has that kind of mechanic. I don't know what it is about it, it's just I find it really awesome. It was really hard to get used to at first, because when you're trying to fire it, when you're trying to shoot enemies above you, or that sometimes come in towards your feet or whatever, the tendency is to press up or down, but what you have to do is you have to press left or right, and that will swing the laser either clockwise or in an anti-clockwise motion. And at first, like I said, it is kind of hard to get used to, but once you kind of mastered that, it just becomes a natural thing really. In terms of level design, to me, I just don't feel there's, it's good, but I mean, I think there's games that have done it better. I mean, it's not amazing, and yeah, the level design isn't amazing, but it's good. It's all right, but it's the gameplay, within the context of level design and what have you, I think really stands out. Graphics, I think they could have got more out of the Amiga personally. I think it looks great. It looks absolutely brilliant. But even if there was going for doing this game with the OCS chip or whatever, I feel like they could have got a lot more graphically out the Amiga, without sacrificing anything else in the game. But as it stands, it does look alright. It does look really good. Music wise, it's very, very appealing. Music really stands out. You'll be humming the tune for Turrican 2 in your head. I mean, I've been since I played it. It's really good. It's really just really good really. I just can't stop really humming it and getting it out of my head. Gameplay, I think the gameplay is the best thing about this, and it is quite a tough game. I wouldn't say it's really hard. Some of these old school platformers are like, balls to the walls hard and really frustrating, so much so that you're never going to see the end of the game, and that I find that really frustrating in old platformers. I don't like ones where it's so hard you just know that you ain't got a chance in hell without putting some kind of cheat in it, that you're never going to see like the end of the game. With this game, with Turrican 2, I feel like it is a hard game, but it's one of those ones, and I've said this before, it's one of those games that's hard but fair. it doesn't take the mick. It's very much about memorizing where the enemies are. They ain't gonna come at you the same way every single time, but they're gonna, there's gonna be a certain amount of enemies coming at you in certain, sections of the levels. And I think once you've memorized the levels and memorized how many enemies are where in the levels, and how best placed to get past those enemies, I think there is a real chance of quite an easy chance of completing this game. So in that context, the game is it's hard but fair, and it doesn't take the mick like other old platformers, which is, like I said, something I can't really get along with. I remember playing quite a few games on the Master System that really took the mick in terms of difficulty. Alex the Kid was one of them, the game that was built into the Master System. I could get so far, I could get to the first jungle level on that, but I could never get past that. It seemed to have one difficulty for a certain length of the game, and then once you got to the jungle level, it just shot up. I don't like that at all. I wanna have the opportunity in these games to see the end of the game, and I think you get that chance with Turrican 2. I don't know about Turrican 1. Might be the same, to be honest. But yeah, I really love this laser beam. I don't know what else to call it. I mean, I've not experienced that in any other platformer. I did want to get other versions of the Turrican games and from other systems and compare it to the Amiga versions, but I haven't got any other way of connecting my other systems up to the capture card, so it would have meant having varying qualities of video. And I thought, what's the point in comparing games, the same games from different systems, if you're going to have varying quality videos? So I decided just to compare these. So this is Turrican 3, and as you can see, it's a lot more going on graphically in this game than in the first, in Turrican 2. I still believe that they could have got a bit more out of Turrican 3. I mean, it does look a lot better graphically, but I still think they could have got more graphically out of the Amiga even with this game. I mean, there's not really any parallax scrolling going on, really. Gameplay wise, I mean, if I was looking at Turrican 1 and 2 in which game is more accessible, I'd say Turrican 3 is very, very much more an easier game. The difficulty level isn't as hard, and it's and for that reason, I think it's more accessible. Like if you'd never played the games before, like I started with this game first, and I found it like really accessible. I think it's very much more accessible than number 2. And there you can see that I've just put Turrican 2 in the corner just to compare them. But yeah, the number 3 does look a lot better. Gameplay wise, it still feels the same as Turrican 2. I mean, there's not much between the games. The only thing is that in Turrican 2 you got that laser beam that you can continuously fire, whereas in Turrican 3 they've for some reason they decided to take it out, and instead they've put this kind of, I don't know what to call it, like bungee rope, zip line, whatever thing. And basically what you have to do is you press and hold onto the button like you would to fire the laser in Turrican 2, and then you move the arm, and again you have to press left or right to move it in a clockwise or anti-clockwise manner, and you aim it where you want it, and you let go, and it shoots this kind of rope out to where you want it to hook onto, and then you can swing from hard to reach places. And that mechanic works. It's a bit like if you've ever played Batman, some of the Batman games have that. I think Batman the movie is one on the Amiga that sort of does a similar thing, and it's all right. But to be honest, I would rather have that laser cannon thing in there. And it's a bit awkward as well in Turrican 3, because what you have to do when you're swinging from side to side, and you have to get onto a really hard to reach ledge or whatever, you have to keep the button pressed down so the rope flashes, it just flashes on and off, and then you have to press up at the right moment so the rope disappears and you swing onto the ledge. Though it is quite difficult to do that. One of the reasons is because you have to press up while you're swinging, and it just doesn't feel natural to do it that way. I think that's one of the problems with Turrican as well. If there was a criticism to be had about the games, I would say that you have to press up to jump. I find that very awkward. I don't like that in platformers. I don't like platformers that make you press up to jump. But having said that, I do like Turrican. It is hard to get used to it, but once you've got used to it, it is a really enjoyable game. But I'd still rather have had a jump button rather than pressing up, because it doesn't matter how well it's implemented or how well it works, it just doesn't feel as natural to press up on the D-pad to jump, as opposed to having a button to do that. I think that's the only criticism I could really say about these two games. In terms of level design, I think I enjoyed Turrican 3 a bit more, to be honest. There's a bit more going on. And having said that, I found Turrican 3 a lot easier. Even though there's a lot more going on and a lot more obstacles and whatnot to contend with, I found it much more an easy game. I think in Turrican 2 they tend to throw more enemies at you. The enemies seem to come at you a bit more aggressively, whereas in Turrican 3 they don't. It's more they don't seem to be as aggressive, and I think the difficulties, they've tried to put the difficulty more in the level design rather than in having the enemies come at you more in a more aggressive way. The music in Turrican 3 as well, I don't think is as good as, no, it's nowhere near as good, let's be honest. The music in Turrican 3, to be honest, it isn't ingrained in my head like it isn't like the Turrican 2 music. I couldn't really hum the Turrican 3 music, to be honest. In fact, I can't even remember what it sounds like. Whereas in Turrican 2, it's very easy to remember. I can. It's okay. That sounded nothing like it probably, but I've got it in my head and I can easily remember it. But Turrican 3, the music's a bit forgettable, to be quite honest. I would have liked them to have done a bit of a better job with the music. nonetheless, it's a very good game. I think out of the two, I wish I could have had a bit of both in the same game. I don't like the swinging rope thing in Turrican 3. I'd rather have had the laser. I think the laser thing is a hell of a lot more enjoyable and a lot better thing to have in the game. But having said that, I prefer the level design and the graphics of Turrican 3.